Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining me. This is Tradespotting covering GME and AMC TA. It is 2045, so we're right on scheduled time for the last 15 minutes of price action, and we're going to go over interesting things about the charts, looking at a suite of indicators and talking about the dynamics of flow. How are you all? Are you all doing well? Let me walk you through the technicals here, and you can ask questions at the end. We're on the GME chart. Currently, the prices are 107.80. For GME, we can see on the daily chart here where there is blatant algorithm signatures there. First obvious sign is here. As you can see, the nut spacing and crack system rim riding rip configuration is put to good effect, and it caused this upswing after that high and the turnaround. This is clearly due to the algorithm here using a field of half C sprats and brass fitted nickel slits, as you can see with the money flow indicator. That's clear, and the turnarounds rather than the crosses are what matters there. Those brass-fitted nickel splits are also obvious on the accumulation distribution. With markers, as you can see, it's still Matthew McConaughey supporting price action there. If we go down again, look at it on Rocky Outcrop's RSI here, we can see that the brass-fitted nickel slits are also there, along with some bracketed caps and splay-flexed brace columns also, with vent dampeners, as you can take from the MACD, or you could look at the HPV, which on the 4-hour chart, I see here on the 4-hour chart, which would typically dampen hatch depths to 1/2 meters from the dampener crown, which is what we saw, more here, but not really on this stage. It's not really fully erect. How? Well, on the 1-hour time frame, they have bolstered 12 husk nuts throughout this downward price action here at the depths of 1.5 meters, as we say, but beyond it, it couldn't properly get erect. And to each girdle jerry at this point of the lows, flex tandems press task apparatus of 10 vertically composited patch hamplers, and then the pim-flam fastened PAM flaps trap at both the maiden apex of the gym joist here. And as I say, when you tie that back to the information about the flim-flams and then the jerry girdles, it's obvious where price action is going by the end of the day. And this is one of the reasons why I can understand the dynamics of flow. It's essentially a question of maths. That's the TA there on that front. If we go down to the tiny time frames here, 30 seconds, shall we try that out for a moment? Uptrend, nice. Volatility, not really crazy yet. RSI above centerline. It's a nice place to rest for the next 11 minutes. If you've got any questions about that, feel free to hit the like button and comment down below after the video, at which point I'll answer you right away, right now. Coffee maker was acting up this morning. Oh my goodness, I almost threw it at the bedpost. This is terrible. I didn't really have a morning. I just had a day and a half at my 3rd injection for the COVID booster shot, didn't I? So this is me. Yep, it's all about the PAM flaps. And a flim-flam and jerry girdles. If you talk about those 12 fastened nuts at the same time as look at the sprockets, then you can see where the divergence comes in. So this is it. What? Anyone got any questions? Will the film flam be on the course? If you really, we're kind of beyond that sort of thing now. Mostly, Mr. Corn the Cob. Kind of beyond most of that. PAM flaps makes me think of, never mind. You're getting it wrong. You're spelling it wrong. And perhaps that's because you don't understand. Bing bong, big buckets. Flim flams. There we go. Makes it very obvious. It does when you take it from the maths didn't last week, my lord. Maths didn't last week. Oh, sugar. That explains a little bit of the disconnect. Nacho test. Yo, Nacho. How's it going? So that's the 30-second price action. It's just not really fast enough for me. I really need to see more adrenaline. So I'll drop it down to the 15-second time frame. Again, I'm really not getting the... Let's go right down to the 1 second here. This is what it's all about. As you can see, the suite of indicators means that, regardless of like the 1 second time frame or not, obviously you're going to get a very interesting picture on the accumulation distribution indicator here. If I can get it to come back. Would you come back? No, it won't. I wish auto would work on the indicators. Though I don't, because it's never your friend. Hey, come back, zero line. So there we are, we've got it. Don't we just stretch it up again so we lose it a bit? There we go. And it slightly paints a clearer picture now. With that huge... Oh, that's interesting. Love ya. Due to BMJ. Let's go. Plumbus, flum. Plumbus. The Aussie jibs are flipping into the upper lumps on the 4 Mibits. Let's just quickly go back to the 4 Mibits. Oh, you're right. It was the barcode as well. Ah, jeez. Good spot. So this is a GME chart, as we said, right? Daily time frame, right? So we started, but if you were looking at Rocky Outcrop show this morning, you'll know that we're actually coming in for the monthly close. The monthly close is coming in 8 minutes. That's 7 minutes and a bit, likely. Depending on where you are. If you're in Luxembourg time, it might be actually a little bit longer, but that's okay. You're used to that, and you'll catch up at the corner. So here you're looking at one of them corners there. You see monthly time frame. You're not looking at your indicators at this point for anything desperately interesting, though. We would like to see an upward slope here, the Series TA, and then likewise we'd like to see one on this line, and we'd also like to see a positive inflection on our DI positive. So that's what I'd like to see, but that's not what we're actually looking for. That will come as a result of a turn. If I turn off the drawings and make things slightly clearer here, you've got this body close, body close. And you've not managed to currently take out the low on the monthly chart, which is looking left 102 and previously 105.50. You really want to be above 105.50 in 6 minutes and however many seconds, 8. So that looks good so far. It would take a little bit of a drop. Today's price action has managed to move up 11.33%. In the face of that price action so extended on this trend, if we put on the Bollinger Bands and see that has just gone through the basis line, you wouldn't necessarily expect it to break an important horizontal without having previously come back and tested that basis line on a monthly time frame. You get a bigger picture of why that might be happening. And so there's 2 things to take away from this. One is positive, that we have a higher close, pardon my tummy. And then 2, that's to be expected as part of continuation to the downtrend when you bear in mind this indicator here. You can also add on a couple of other things of interest and say there are these areas below. Should it break down, that's what you'd be looking to. 55, 56, 200 simples currently in a low even beyond our wick that we called here in January. So that previous low. So this would be where price action might be, and some people will be hypothesizing that that's where it's going if it breaks these levels. I don't necessarily subscribe to that attitude, but I'd go down to the weekly and look at these sort of things and say, well, previously we put in a higher high than our most recent lower high as part of that previous trend. Subsequently, we've come back and broken through important horizontals. But as you can see, this has been a positive week from open till close with a positive candlestick formation in retrospect when we judged this from the previous week there, which in itself was indecision with possible positive inflection should we get what we have done here. It's come up and it's finished above the previous week to that body close, which is good news. Oh, there goes the printer. You're dying, battery dying on the fax machine. Yo, there's goes the spirit of Luke Spears and BMJ Cheryl and Lisa. What fantastic my lord and my ladies that we've got around us. And then all of the plebeians. There are all the plebeians. Shut up, fax machine. You shut up, fax machine. Did anyone give you the injection? You shut it. Anyway, so here you have What is that? It's the weekly, right? Wonderful. 3 days. Also, I mean, you're talking about that weekly candle we just did, right? Here's the 3 days. It's a similar situation, but you've managed to also take out the high of this at 108. If we close at our price action is at the minute 108, spot 98.89. This will be maybe perhaps where you're looking for any pullbacks in the last few minutes to test around these areas. What is it exactly? Just so we can look good. Should it get there? Who cares? 107, spot 98 or so. Anyway, you're looking for it to. It's not going to do any of these topside moves right now, unless we get something crazy exciting. You're not seeing it on a 3-day time frame, that's for sure. But you're getting that positive candlestick formation, which does lead to continuation in this part of the trend. This part of the trend might just be simply a lower high and a continuation of that dominant trend, though you need to test it before you break it, and that's not necessarily on separate occasions. I'm just speaking to, you'll need to get there before you can do the job that takes place up there. So here's the basis line, the Bollinger Bands. When you're looking at daily time frame, you can see that comes in around 114, 112 bucks, that sort of place, that sort of zone. Already horizontals looking left, you can see they're important in that liquidity. Perhaps you're speaking to this area and thinking, oh, that would be a bit of a dodgy book in there, 113, maybe you come back at that point and test this line that previously would have been resistance. You're currently sitting above it and hopefully looking for it to be support subsequently. So that's daily time frame. The positive, which what I would show you about, like, that's my money flow indicator there. Whoa, money flow, money flow, flowing to me and GME, which it really is, right? The way this indicator works, this is a money flow indicator. It's like an advanced take on the accumulation distribution, which itself has different benefits, which it can't, it's not a replacement, but it does add value. And I personally like to use it for early signals, the way I use indicators and oscillators. Anyway, I've just managed to lose it there. So in the desert, it's like sand dunes, blue. That's what it's like. It's just like sand dunes, right? So you're looking at this and you're thinking, yo, Salva, blue sand dunes. They help you get to school in the morning, and then when you're coming home, they've gone. And you're like, come by mommy. Oh, well, just have to. But anyway, so you had this turnaround here where price action was continuing its downward trend. But not only did you see that there was less money coming into the market, right? Less money flow and accumulation distribution in one indicator, bing bong, yo Corbin. And at this point, what you can see is that along with there being less money in the market, right, there was also less money trying to distribute this. And so it was putting in lower lows when there wasn't any new money coming into the market, i.e. it being open in interest to the open puts that were increasing and changing the balance. That wasn't happening. There was no new money flowing into the market in that sense. The money that was in the market wasn't flowing in that direction. It literally changed direction, that flow. And yet price action was putting in lower lows. And then it put in another lower low, on like 3 of them, and that whole thing, bing, 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 which was also lower than here, right? Which is the most relevant low. And when you look to the RSI, that wasn't there, but it was there on the MACD. So you're like, what's going on, right? There's like a confused picture with indicators that are supposed to be reading slightly like similar things, generally speaking, though, if you understand them, you're like, actually, there's a difference there. There's a difference between the things and the way that these are measured. And that speaks to certain factors which help you work out what might be happening. Anyway, I've got Befetic still now. That's a silly booster. I said that earlier, right? So you look at that and you probably look at confirmation of the DMI, see if there was a trend change come up, and look at that. Mwah! Anyway, apparently, so you're also pushing yourself outside the top side of the bearish control zone. That's very positive. Anyway, this is fantastic technical analysis. So yes, we've got lots of very intimate chat group box here. People watching along who don't necessarily talk, and hopefully these are all leveling up. I suspect that we are, especially when you combine it with Rocky's channel, like how much this community is leveling up on their collective abilities compared to the flim flam. So in here you have what speaks to good information, way ahead of the trend, way ahead of what anybody else will be talking about, and it's speaking to the strength of the potential move should we make certain retracements. Now, that's talking about where price action might be going. I've already said, like, when it was going to turn around or it was going to go to yada yada blah blah, all the other stuff that people are now going to be like, well, look, I've said it, look at me. And that's like, yeah, weeks ago. Anyway, so you're looking at this thing and you're thinking 200 period moving average, topside, Jimmy, it's 180. Oh, yes, that's true. But let's turn it on back on. I've got all these horizontals are important. First side, you can see we've come up right there, 2-1. Whoop-de-doop-de, 108, spot 93. And we got what? The markets have closed. Cool, 108.93, so that's good. We've got a positive close considering what could have happened on the monthly. Excellent weekly and daily. Very strong positive candle there. Not yet captured the 236. That's the Fibonacci from our highs at 255 down to our lows at high 180s, and you've not managed to get the 236 Fibonacci level back yet. Once you do, I'd look for that move up to 166. Here's those drawings. Look, they've been there for ages. I don't even need to say this, right? You probably, like this Bob, Fred, and Hamish, right? Bob, Fred, and Hamish have been here for weeks. They're like brothers to us. Hamish is like a little bit unusual kind of brother, but Yo's, he's cool, he's fine. And Fred and Bob, yeah, Bob, Fred, Hamish, they're like our brothers. Now, we've known them for months and years and decades. Hello, that's no problem. There's my nurse saying hello to them. Just, you know, that's the way it is. Very casual friendship now. Anyway, so you capture the 50 simple period moving average there in that turnaround with the divergence. Now you need to, no, you didn't. That's not the 50 simple. It's me drawing the divergence. Yes, with the same color. Yeah, super smart decision that. Anyway, there's a 50 simple there. That might then be the resistance on the top side. You've also got this channel you're working within, which suggests that there's downward on supply line coming in around 120 bucks. You've got horizontals up at 118. You've got liquidity zone around 112 to 115. As I was saying, 113 might be a sticking point. You've got this horizontal level on the daily time frame. We're breaking through it onto the 4 hour. You know, like I was saying, a lot of people will have just seen that first little bit there and tuned out, but then they would have tuned out anyway, whatnot. And the truth is that it's a little bit different, this show, right? To the point that it's like anyway, who, you know, you like it, you don't. That's the way it is. So up here, I'm right at the top side of the Bollinger Band on this 4 hour time frame. That's where you might likely expect price action to maintain within that sort of area. The horizontal that's relevant there is 112 to 113. It's also the 236, and that's why there's a number of reasons why price action could stall at that area. If you want to get back to a test of a breakout zone, it might be $100, though then you might then say to yourself, well, that's just continuation, right? If the down move takes you now beyond like the previous 4 hour candle close and the 8 period exponential moving average, which should be used in this instance on this time frame just to measure very aggressive trend, you'd say you'd have lost that and you'd have made a significant retracement against this previous move, long beyond 236. At this point, you'd be down there below the 382, at which point you'd probably likely go on to the golden pocket. So you'd be back in at around 95, 96 bucks, right? That's what will be the test of support. Will come in at this level, regardless if you manage to break above this 236 here or not. If you break it back on the way down again, which is likely support, right? You're not going to be testing this. Can't be support until you've broken through the top side. And what you're going to go through all of these levels on without even, like, you know, here's your 382, right? Cool, but then you'll be testing up in at around 120 bucks without having put in any sort of support on the low. You'll just have to come back, right? Price will just come back, test demand area. So, do we really want to do that? No. Also, it would be like very reflexive and not typical of the nature of this asset. It's actually, like, the accumulation here on this time frame, like, it's really, really obvious if you understood this indicator, which you probably do, right? I've got a video on it. So that matters, eh? People don't seek out lessons, Jamie. Anyway, so you're looking at this and you say 1, 2, 3. This also, right, positive, right? With 3 white knights. That's positive candlestick formation. It speaks to the other ones we were talking about in different time frames. All builds up in a big picture. And then you see DMI coming in for a mwah. See how that goes. And then positive momentum building on the MACD volatility indicators, and those things are picking up again, which is interesting because they haven't been like that throughout the whole period of this downtrend. Look, nothing since 18th of October, and now things are starting to kick off again, right? 18th of October, you know when that was? Fucking ages ago, right? Fucking ages ago. Part of my language. It's that jab in it. I hope you're well, Jimmy. Thank you very much, Tyler. I am. Hope you're doing well too, friend. Shut up. Bing bong, bing bong. Brave. Yo, brave Dylan Buck. I know a sure thing. Some of us do. Bing bong. Bing bong. Right, so it's accumulations going on here, and you wouldn't expect price action to go through that flim-flam, crappy way of behaving that really illiquid, and I mean that from a like illiquid and then highly manipulated at the point of liquidity. Those sort of stocks that are usually low cap cryptos that are being abused those sort of things, like that sort of like flu or like Shib or Dodge or whatever, full of paper-handed folks and that, and it being like a really heavily day-traded asset. That's not really what way GME performs, and so you wouldn't really want to see it go through like start doing silly moves at this point. You want to see it put in concrete foundations, and then after they've been put in and everyone's like, well, we can agree that they're pretty strong foundation, then it can go mental, at which point you're like, next one, yeah, it's what we're like, right? And there's Bob, Fred and Hamish to talk to on the way, so there's plenty of company, no problem, right? It's all good. So what else were we talking about? We got to that. We want to investigate more of it in an early time frame. You've got a flash up $120. That's also right inside this level. That's obviously going to happen. We like that. On 1 hour, testing intuition towards the bullish control zone. Don't see it yet. And again, tests of certain things would be expected. You've gone through the center line where I haven't tested your own moving average, haven't hit the top side of any reasonable person's expectation within a trend. So yeah, another retest of that, you're potentially getting across here on the MACD on the 30 minutes below the 200 period moving average, it coming above the center line in a period of a downtrend, which is matched every single time frame from the monthly down to the 1 hour, is a very, very, very strong sell signal. So there's that to bear in mind as you're looking at this thinking, oh my God, it's happened, right? It's happened, you know. Right, so managing expectations. So look, closing pocket, if you break this 236, 104.57, that comes in around $95. And that's where you're going to get retest, and people are going to start talking about it like they came up with it, and they didn't come up with it. Rocky and I were thinking about it, nobody else did it, whatever. Hello, copycats. Start tagging me and shit, you know, he's freaking, anyway, whatever, who cares. So, for the people that matter, they get it. They get it. Come and get it. Oh, I started a 15-minute time frame, and then you can see, look, there's another one. Holy shit, my tea is perfect. There you go. That's the tea for Gme. It's incredible. Oh my goodness. What about AMC in a monthly time frame? Ah! It's a snarl sneer. Hey, snarl sneer. Snarl sneer. And those raccoons, what was that show? I haven't thought about that in about 28 years, but they're more, maybe. Anyway, yo, Cyril. There's a sneaky way into his house. He doesn't. Yeah. What was that? Anyway, so what did this? What a habad. You went through the 236 at that point. You're worried at this point, right? You're going through the 236. Is it going to go all the way? This is the golden pocket, right? Which there's horizontal levels all throughout this. It's quite clear what might happen. There's a very strong white line. We said this was the important one. Turn off those drawings. Bing. You've not yet reached there on price action. Potential move. It has retraced from that wick and cut itself back above 50 simple period moving average on the monthly time frame. Good, but obviously below the 8. The 8 itself doing okay. Got a bit of a negative turn on it there, but if we highlight it, it shows up and you can see it's still got positive inflection, still going to the top side. That's not the end of the universe. So in terms of like 1, 2, 3 continuation expected, broke this important horizontal here. At that point you were hoping for the $20 psychological level, this previous resistance to be support, and the 382 all coming together to help you, and that didn't help. Plus you went through the 8 period moving average on it. So that's not great at all. That's at that point we're a little bit like, oh geez, that's going to keep going. There's the weekly time frame, and you found the 200 simple period moving average to be supportive. That's good. You can see now though on the weekly time frame you've experienced your first case of distribution of this asset in a long time. That over the period of AMC's history since it moved up from Rocky's recommended buy at around 3, wherever it was after this move here. Right, this was Rocky's AMC buy area, and then, or was it? That was the first one. There was more, and then this was him saying, "Look, goes through here. It's going up to $27," and that nobody else did it as good. Should have 10,000 followers just from that fucking video alone, easily more. But whatever, you know, the tubes get all of the popularity because but most people are tubes, right? So it's appropriate. That's how their target audience would work that way, wouldn't it? So shout out to all those tubes. You're welcome over here at some point, but we'll all have moved on by then. Anyway, so this is a downward sloping price action here within this channel. Yes, that's very positive. Not. You had this 200 period that stopped it from falling any further, and then you're like, well, great, does it recover back up to the 50 simple? That's beyond the 236 of this particular move, and then beyond the golden pocket, and you've had that positive cross between the 50 and the 200, which at the time, price action was like already like significantly further away. How many weeks was that? You know, it's already gone beyond it, so no clear test, and no, like, the move had already happened. Like, let's face it, the cross came in. As soon as the cross came in, price action had peaked, and then it's been making its way back at that point to test one of these two moving averages. It's done it on the weekly at the 200 simple. Now, if you look left on the weekly, you can see horizontal levels that were important. They were resistance before price action moved up at $15. That was interesting in that period of time when price action on AMC, when it's putting in this upward sloping triangle here. Again, Rocky was talking about when it breaks this, it's going to go up past $70. 69 was obvious. So he was saying, you can see it all. Anyway, the measured move inside this that he was all drawing at the time, talking about, saying, there you go. Yeah, and credit where credit's due, he's better than everybody else. And then he was saying, there's your move, right? And there it goes up there, $40. It was even bigger than that. And then you got the extensions on the... Anyway, I'm not going to go back over that video, but I will show you that he did things like this here. It was like, oh yeah, well, there's this up at the 2,618. Look at that. Brilliant. Other things that were telling you it was such an obvious move. Anyway, at this point, he's done the same thing. You're in this channel, price has come down, you've got 200 period moving average, got you on the weekly time frame. Dropped down to 3-day time frame. Say up, similar situation there. You didn't get a body close, body close, open below it. That didn't happen. The horizontal here, significant looking left, nothing in particular to jump out at you. Seeing this Fibonacci, is it in it or lows? Aye, it probably is, because yes, so okay. And the 236 on this thing in at 1733, and you're looking for breaking that and going back up and breaking that $22, which is liquidity zone. On this 3-day time frame, you can see negative slope but positive splay on those two important moving averages. 8 coming in here at the top, meeting at the golden pocket, likely does prove to be resistance. You've also got horizontals who are support, now will be resistance. You broke through it here, having tested it twice on a week, 3-day time frame, so you know you're going to expect congestion. And then as I was going to that, you'll just look at this previous high around $37. The wick highs here could be confusing, right? Especially on the 2 and 3 day and weekly time frame. You know, anything above $29, you can't get too excited until you see a weekly open and close above 34. So there's a big area to catch people out and trap them for ages, opportunity cost, capital inefficiencies, and essentially steal all of their enthusiasm and affect them later on in the trade. And that's how people handle the psychology of these things. It's not just through the media, it's also manipulating price action and putting things on charts and making people make silly mistakes, right? So we're hoping for this 3-day. It's still negative. Daily time frame. You know, it's like pathetic, really. A little bit pathetic, considering the opportunity that was in front of it with regards to that strategy. The candlesticks you'd be looking through there. You really want. This is what I mean. Like, this is like, where's this money indicate? What's it saying right now? Actually, Bing bong, price is wrong. Awesome, thanks. Damn, fax machine. Damn, didn't charge you earlier. Oh, my name is Philadelphia. Hello, thanks very much. I'm moved and ready. Oh my goodness. Welcome back. Ready to moon. We did the flim flams earlier. You should definitely have seen that. If you did in your current condition is as you say, you'll very much enjoy that particular part of the TA. So there's the 8 period exponential moving average, 1660 and change. You're going to start opening and closing above that. Volatility is not there. Momentum's not really building yet. You are pushing yourself outside the top of the bearish control zone, and you've got obviously the same situation here with accumulation. And there's your accumulation with markers, indicators managing to squeeze back onto the chart. And let's see, what does it say there? When I can say, oh, for goodness sake, there it is. Shaquille O'Neal has just bought more AMC. There he is. And just before him, Tom Brady got in some. So there you go. Those two people, I don't know, do they know much about stocks? I think not absolutely, but it's probably a good call. 1 hour time frame. Yo, 50 simple. Get out of the way. This is horizontally looking at here, 1667. This important level to break through. There's that poor Starfish who solved that crime back in the day. That was one for he's captain now, isn't he? Captain there. That was one of his famous on the board. So famous up there. Still see it when you come into the office. So still, if you get by there, you're still aiming for that up there. $22, really difficult level. $32, really difficult level. 1 hour time frame says, really holding that center line. That's good news. Not a positive, not a sell, no valid sell signals. Like all disqualified. This is like says that you're maybe in a no trade zone right now. Horizontals obviously say, you're buy support, not resistance. You're not going to buy it right here, are you? If it falls back down, it'd be stupid, wouldn't it? You'd much rather have it down there, wouldn't you? That's obvious. 30-minute time frame. Again, this looks like continuation, despite like a couple of positive signs. There's your positive trend. Like, it's just like, even though it's got a reason to go up, it's just like, right? People are tired. That's what that is. And then here, you're losing your average on this trend. It's rolling over, and then you've got this momentum, which speaks to like a potential failure of enthusiasm. Right, it needs to kick up the arse. That's what it is. So 200 period there, you want to test it up at 1847. That looks like it would be like where that's not it's the top side of a downward sloping channel. Well, I can't see you breaking it at the minute. Right, don't have the enthusiasm behind you from here. Certainly don't have, like, where are you going when you get there anyway, right? Your next level's up at 2432. Does this look like something that's about to double in price nearly? No, it doesn't actually. It doesn't. So that's not likely. 15-minute time frame. You might get a little bit of light relief and take you up to $18, but again, I don't see it making even this horizontal, because 382 would be where it would likely come back down, and then you'd want to be seeing it put in foundations, like stronger, proper bottoms, and that. You can look at that and say there's the inverted head and shoulders, and it's true. On the 15 minutes, you've got that on AMC, and 15 minutes on GME, you've got a similar thing. And there's the demand lines where you'd normally break out. You didn't test that. You've also got like this bearish divergence on the top side of this move, and as such, you would expect like a test of that, and then perhaps down here at $95, right? Which would be a test of the head and shoulders, the breakout zone. This thing would be a similar structure, right? You'd be looking down here, thinking at 14 something, 13 something. That's typical of trend in price action to establish some sort of reason for people to stop doubting it so much. And like, it's not just that, but you build that in, and then you get more mass market psychology you can work out. It's also dead obvious. So there is what's happening with things there. So was that like? Was that good? There once was a man from Edinburgh whose TA made my bank account go brrr. Oh, wow. You see, this is him. This is why he is the poet laureate of the Tradespotting channel. Thanks so very much. Blessing us like that. That's so lovely. We're very lucky. I really wish I could make that flow, but it doesn't sound right. Listen, I never knew that. Thank you. That's great. Everyone being helpful. Thanks. Still waiting for $11 after a bounce. After a bounce, you could get that, but people will panic when it comes to that. This is the thing, right? People will absolutely panic. Panic. Because now they don't know what's happening now, right? They've got no idea what's happening now. The vast majority of people are looking at this like, oh, maybe something, right? So then it does come down. They're like, oh, I was wrong again. I can't believe it. And that's the narrative that go on. Like, they talk about themselves and what they're writing out. They don't understand that their problem isn't their decisions or like, and who cares? Why are they giving themselves a hard time? That's not it, right? Why are they doing this? It's a waste of time. It's because they're panic merchants and they want it, right? They want to live that way, right? Now, you can fucking stick your head in that black bag if you want, right? But that's enough for me. They want it like that, and that's fine. They can have it like that. And we can like live cathartically every once a week or something and enjoy it as much, right? But they get there and they're like, they don't know why it went up to here. They don't know why it stopped here. They don't know why it didn't come back down again there. They got fucking so excited when it goes up here, and then it comes back down and they completely and utterly crap the bed. That's what happens. And then they blame the bed. And they think, right, well, it's going to go here, which maybe it does, right? Maybe it does, but you're looking at it in terms of opportunity at this stage. And that even if you're not like thinking like this isn't going to be the thing that destroys the short hedge funds, which I kind of like, I would be inclined to believe that it won't be the one that does it. It would be GME. Though, to try and convert 2 into 1 would make them both implode, and I'm not here to do that. Pardon me. trying to help everybody, people will start panicking, right? And then that could push price action down to below these lows, right? You could get that $11. You could get this test of 11.82 or whatever, which would be very good if it did happen. Price action likely then at that point has a huge freaking range in terms of those entries, and I don't know what instruments you're trading or whatnot, but you'd look to pay attention to at the time. You can see probably slap on things like open interest, money flow indicator, which would be very interesting, right? If you traded options, and you probably also then be like, well, what's about this historical volatility indicator? Tradespotting says that's kind of nifty. And then you'd probably look at all the other things we talked about, and you'd also manage your own risk because this is a downtrend. And those are risk instruments. So that's what you'd be looking at, though. There he is if you get it. Whoa. And, buy when other people panic and whatnot. So that's what that phrase means, right? It's a shorthand for, ICANN has imploded everyone. Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. Hold on to your shorts. Bed, why did you crap? Exactly. Why, bed? Why did you do that? I was asleep in you and you crapped all over the place. So what the fuck? What the fuck, bed? So it's like, for them. Panic room, we go. Well, where is KP? Oh, KP, how is KP doing? A young man from Edinburgh had a date that was nothing but horror. And she said, here's my tattoo, now we really must go. And he said, bus fares now, not tomorrow. Here's the bus fare. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. Why did you do that to me? Oh, my goodness. Damn. That's that memory for 2022. Hopefully it's banished now. Won't have any more of that. God. What stress, eh? Hours and hours of that. When you add it all up. That kind of thing. Ugh. Dating, eh? Hit or miss. That's what it's like, isn't it? You have my full support, Mr. Wilfred Dusler. Oh, well, that's very positive news. Since a month is over and all. Yeah, since the month and over and all. Jimmy, any GME monthly chart? Yeah, sure. Where the hell have you been? What? What do you like? What do you like, Shorta? For goodness sake, Shorta, what do you like? For goodness sakes. Everybody, tell them the whole narrative we led in with this whole thing about GB and that. You see, Short has just turned up and he's like, probably thinks like, Jim might not have talked about this and this is an interesting nuanced point. And maybe it was something interesting you hear about. And also maybe it came from Rockies earlier. It's like, that I was talking about that and I was interested. What does Jimmy say about it? And so he said, I'll stick it in there. But I obviously led with it. I need to go back in time or what? Yes, something like that. Oops, a daisy. Yes, you need to go back in time a little bit. And probably notice that I describe the technical entities in their own language after I get that part through that part and then interpolate everything for everybody again. So there was like two takes on it. One that puts off the copycats and those people who just want me to do something for them and all they're used to do is take, and they've got no understanding of what's going on or the exchange that's in here, which includes a little bit of like hitting the like button and watching the fucking video for more than a minute. These people, they'll be like, he's just doing one of these things he does and that. And then they'll not watch it and then screw them. And then there's loads of great information for everybody else, which is the way it works, right? That's the way the algorithm wants you to be, isn't it? I'm sure that's the way YouTube appreciates it. That's what the best streamers do, right? That's the way it works. I cracked the code, and if you want to know more about that, go back to that intro section. There's Homer goes deleting his messages again. The one of them has a crown in there, so I did like that, but I see it's gone. Homer goes to popcorn is burnt. It's time to play video games. Oh my goodness, is it all burnt? Oh no. This is what happens if you don't pay attention to it. Pay attention to it, or that's it, right? The more I see about, no critique here. It's just, when you come up with an idea for a product and say, for example, you've got thousands of locations making that product all day, every day already, and all you're really going to do is put it in a bag and sell it. A variety of locations quite close to and on the way to all of these centres which you've already got distribution mechanisms and logistics for. Why does it take like 45 decades to get popcorn into the supermarkets? Like, where is it? Why is it taking so long? What's overheads and what, and can we just vote in a new CEO? I'll do it. I'll do the job, right? If you want, I'll do it. Right? I'll do it. I'll give you 6 months and I'll turn the company around if you want. Right? I'll do it for free if you vote me in. Right? It's up to you. And so I vote for him, that's for sure. Yo, I was muted. Oh my God, Tony, you were muted, but I saw everything you were saying there. Maybe it's because I'm so good at lip reading. Checks to make sure liked. Sure they are. They're sure liked. Well, I think that sums it up, really. If you've got anything that you'd like to rim gobble, do it now. Darn, even more light bulbs went on today while working within Chart. Scared me a bit, realizing how much I must learn. That's nice, Lakeside Trader. Yes, you got through that Dunning-Kruger effect where you're like, initially you learn a little bit and you're like, whoa, I'm so smart because you've got no idea what you don't know. And then you learn all about all the stuff you don't know and you're like, whoa, this is paralyzing. This is like petrifying. This is just too much. It's impossible. And then you get that side of it and it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. And after a while you remember, right, just let's break it down. Tradespotting. Let's break it down. Break it down like this. Break it down, break it down like this. Brave DeLorean Bucks have chatted $4.99. Thank you. Been going back in time lately and appreciate the member only vids. Oh, yay. Thanks. That's nice. Thanks very much. That's really appreciated. Thanks. That's a member only vids. You might do some more of those. We've lost 47% of my members or whatever the last 2 months. Something stupid like that. Maybe more. Absurd. But then understand why. And then the Patreon numbers went down. But I understand why. Difficult. It's all difficult. You know, price action was low. People are struggling. Also, you know, things are hard this time of year and whatnot. I totally understand. If that was anybody, no worries. Don't feel bad. Totally okay. Please, AMC, go up. Aisle 485 at 43. Brave DeLorean Book. Jade, there's a nice message with the heart and everything. I am confused about what I understand. Nice. Well, that's better, you know, learning something, right? Then we'll also cover everything as much as you like. Back and forth until such times as you know it inside out for sure. Nobody has seen her in millions of years in Lake Superior. Being on watch tonight, though. Well, what are we talking about? It sounds like a mystery. Now I'm confused about what I don't understand. No worries. Aman Kahulian. Aman Kahulian. Cool. What a cool name. Is that, where are you at? There he is. Same. AMC. Please go up. Aisle 485 at 43. 43. 43. 43. 43. AMC. 43. Well, so it is, I mean, please go up, right? Then, I mean, the simple things in life. Why did it come up there? Like, that was ridiculous. You time travel in lines too, huh? Right, so you've already got 485 or whatever. You don't need to tell anybody how many you've got. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't make any difference. It's the same amount of respect or the chance of answering your question or whatever, Mr. Kahulian, sir. We had a good day. We did a good day. You mean 6.6%? It's all right, but then like it was also like at the same time a bit like a dusty fart, right? That's really what it was actually like. You know, and you don't want to get excited about dusty farts, right? Because you've got higher standards than that. Okay? You're welcome. So, you're looking at this and you're thinking, well, what about a 43? What about a 43? Well, you could topside targets on this thing. I mean, I can see there's Fibonacci's all over the places drawing out from this high here to this low here, assuming that's the low, and you want it to go back up and see what's that mean. And there's already this on, right? But it starts here. Well, it doesn't start here. It starts over here, but that's the height, right? The horizontal level. And it goes to here, right? Doesn't go there. It goes like this. Oh, yeah. And it's not there anyway. It's there. There's your 236, and I've got these lines in anyway, so perhaps it could be more accurate. You can see it needs to get above 1956. If it does, great. Then you don't really want to be looking at 43 because that's something that you know, and that's not going to change, and that doesn't matter. And if you're not buying anymore, right, your average rate price isn't going to change if you're not buying anymore. Maybe you are, in which case you can revisit that. But in the meantime, it doesn't matter. And also, price action doesn't give two flying fucks where you bought it, this thing at, right? It doesn't. And as such, you know, if you focus on the 43 or whatever it is for you, whoever, right? I'm not speaking at you, and don't take it personally if you think I'm being nasty, right? My language is like every so often, and so don't worry, right? We're friends, and so actually, you're like, why would you focus on your entry price? Nobody gives a shit, right? Literally, even you shouldn't. It's all about what price action is actually doing, and like what's the best possible situation on the charts, regardless of where you bought it or didn't buy it at or anything else. And then you look to those sort of things. So and right, you would then say, well, what are those then? Maybe in a state of anxiety, thinking like, well, what are those targets then? Still really actually thinking about your own entry price and how close it would be and whatnot. And that's not the way to think, right? The way to think is, and I'm not saying you are, this, and I'm sorry if this seems like I'm putting you in a box here. Hi, how's in the box there? How is it there? No, I'm just saying, and there are loads of people like this, they're like this, and no offense, it's dead annoying. You're not looking at what price you bought at, like, whenever, and also nobody cares, and no one cares how much of it you have. And what you're really looking to is what price action you're going to do, and then you're looking then not about where these are levels that are up to top side that might be realistic, you know, and out the ones that are close to you. Right? No, you're looking at like which are the ones right immediately in front of you, like immediately in front of you. And we did it to you earlier, so you know what they are. But then on the top side, you've got your 236, which is really important, 19, $20, right? That's really, really important. And then the top side of that liquidity zone around 22, $23. And then once you get past there, you've got this downward sloping supply line on the top side. Now, this is true for both of these stickers, right? They've got things ahead of them to overcome, right? So you're like, here's a downward sloping supply line. It comes in and meets this horizontal level here at $24. And that's already like only a tiny little bit away from this level here, which we talked about being like a little bit vague liquidity zone around the top side of it. And so you could easily just go up here, and that would be considered the same thing as going to there. I mean, that's not defeating that at all, especially if you don't persist around these levels. And so this is a huge thing to overcome. And so, like, you know, and it's great to think about, well, I'm going to freaking travel around the world in 80 days, and that's wonderful. But you're not going to get very far if you don't know where you're going next. And where you go next is Jamaica. We'll go to Jamaica. Alrighty, that's quite fun. That's quite fun. You know, heard you can have different kinds of holidays in Jamaica, very much so. So that's great news. Really, that's great news. Especially that, combine that with the fact that Shaq and Matt are still buying it down there. And Tom Brady, no, Matt was buying GME actually. So you're looking at these things and you're like, this is good news. This is generally good news. And I just hurt my arm. Because of the fact that I just hurt it, moving it. I should remember not to move it. That'll remind me there. That'll teach me, won't it? So, yes, so you're looking at it and you're like, it's like, well, yes, I understand where you come from, but let's get on that bridge when we've set it on fire. Set that bridge on fire after we've crossed over it, right? And fuck it, let's just set it on fire anyway, and then we'll not talk about it. And so, yeah, let's just burn everything, in fact. Anyway, so, no, looking at this, and yeah, I've done that already, and I've talked about this, and you looked at this, and you've turned off the drawings, so you can just see, oh, shit, I deleted them all. Don't want to do that. I just wanted to stab them in the eye. So, yes, then you've got your 200 period moving average at 32. That's another exciting level. You've got these horizontals. If you turn off the Bollinger Band, it's slightly more obvious. You've got these bing, right? That's the top side one. You've also got this one, bing, bong. And then you've got this one up here, and then you've got these. And there you're looking at maybe getting it at that point. You're already at that stage, right? Unfortunately, we would have to have broken beyond this downward sloping supply line, in which case you've only got like this previous upward sloping demand line, which is well and truly not happening yet. Like you only ever get there on a crazy parabolic. It's not something you trade for. You're looking at this thinking, I've only got horizontals. This golden pocket, right? This one here, it's going to be so very difficult to break that at that point. And, bear that in mind. Right, bear that in mind. Can't advise anyone to do trees, and I'm not selling my stuff, but I have to be ethical. So, and if you ask a question, get a good answer. That's a good answer. You want me to look at Fox USDT? You love the Fox. You love the Fox. You big Fox fan. Well, there you go. Got it on Coinbase. Aren't you lucky, Coinbase? Boopity boop boop. Whoa, nice move. 200 period simple moving average on 4 hour. On daily time frame, you're not really at the 250 yet. It's not been long enough for it to exist. This is obviously a desperately downward sloping, awful price. Price action. Good to see most of the people that bought this have actually well and truly got it lower than it was. Right, so everyone's nearly in profit. It's only ever been distributed, right? And so you know what that means, because it means the people that own it don't like the people that are investing in it, right? I mean, they're taking all their money off them and selling all of the things they own. Like, but you're trying to make a company worth more money, and you've just started. It's like, well, we need more money, and like, well, why, what? And you're going to expose like retail shareholders to that? Why? Hey, like, I mean, fair enough if that's the way. Anyway, whatever, right? You know, maybe it's them that's buying it there too. Maybe, well, I don't care. Who gives a shit, right? The point is, what did it do today on price action? Well, we'll start off with our daily time frame. Get it up here. Obviously, PMG's done a very good job on this recently. See, you're not getting your body opens, body closes or opens above that 236 on daily time frame. So that's one thing to bear in mind. You have been above there, and yet you're below it now. King Jimmy, did we already look at CNN together after at 150 on Friday? I can't remember. Bing bong, price is wrong. The wheel's still in. Bing bong, price, ripple, Google tiggled. I don't know. I'll have a quick look at it. Fox, oh yeah, let's go. Oh, you okay? Yo, Bing bong, Jimmy, the interweb's going crazy about a big data gap this morning on GME. Any comments? Data gap. GME this morning, data gap. Any comments? Which, yeah. Have you ever spent a long time around somebody who spends a long time talking about thigh gaps? It's awfully. What do I think about the data gap this morning? Oh my God. Breaking news. Huge data gap this morning. What do I think about it? I've just been filled in here right now from Stefan, also known as Mr. Cartolano. Also known as Mr. Cartolano. He's informed all of us now there's a big data gap. I, myself, would say it's probably because somebody was off sick. Probably someone somewhere was off sick, and it's a disgrace. What do they think they're doing? Get out of bed. There's billions and trillions of robots who love this job, is what the boss should say to them. Eh? Terrible. I don't know. Where's the data gap? And like, are you talking about it from one of the commercial services that provide data? In which case, whatever. If it says something that should have been reported, regulations, stuff like that. And if it's just perhaps it's the body themselves that's late with the report. I mean, that happens every so often. Or, you know, it's the end of the month, depending on what data it is you're talking about. Maybe that's part of it. Quite possibly. I mean, what we're looking at, there might be rebalancing in that. You know, it's a big week for earnings for certain companies. Tradespotting, but not DMG you Twitter if you have time. You DM me on Twitter, yo, woo. You DM me on Twitter, yeah. DM me on Twitter, whoa. How you doing that, guy? Yeah. Damn beers will make you call in every time. Them damn beers, you're right. Got the Corona last night. Eight times. I got it 8 times, boss. In half an hour, boss. I can't even make it, boss. You'll have to do the data yourself. I don't know. What's the data, yo, Stefan? Where is it? Who's reporting it? What is it? But yeah, I'll have some comments. I'll have them. They sound like I'm having a stroke when I talk about it, but whatever. Poet laureate, Kieran Kruger, we're going to need more limericks. Poet laureate isn't Kieran's ghost. It's the Mr. Smelly Bum Man. Kieran's ghost is technical support. What? Why is everybody so confused? Like I trade one DMG and Twitter every time. I had read this already. That's severe deja vu there, mentally. When banana go ya? Haha, there you go. Special. Genius takes time. True story. Does it? Wait, what? Damn it, cool. And that's my word. Oh, see how I managed to avoid saying all these words? It's amazing. amazing. Do very skilled years of training. Kitties never die. Wait, what? Let's say we're going to have to test that one out. Genius. I mean, jeez. After me saying that previous, I was doing TA, wasn't I? Yeah. So we're on the daily time frame. And this we said you haven't managed to open and close above 236, right? That's significant. Haven't been above it. You'd call it not yet broken, right? Testing it still, testing it. Yo, and then within this thing, you might look at some sort of retrace. Obviously, you've got your own 236 on it. Have you yet got there? Yes, that's where price action is also. The 236 from one is the 236 from the other. So you break this level, which is an important horizontal. We can just draw up a delta, and I've already done that. Anyway, there it is now. I've definitely done it now. You do break that level. Maybe you're looking at the top side of the golden pocket. This is the first instance. That might be where you pay attention to. Beyond that, obviously, where do you think you're going, buddy? Obviously, the B level's beyond that. Here's 236 from the greater Fibonacci, from the recovery here. You know, you could see price action not managing to make it through here, come back testing this level, and then we'll wonder if it goes what it does in terms of the signatures at the time. Not enough on the daily time frame to give you anything in advance than that in front. We'd be testing the breakout zone from here. That'd be following the general pattern of a lot of these different. Hey, yo, just got a lot of personality, hasn't it? Am I wrong? Am I wrong? What? Anyway, so in here, you're looking at this and you're like, well, perhaps it's had a little bit of its momentum slacking in, though it's still now pushing back into the bullish control zone. So the bulls being control and the 236 at that stage. If not hold it, the golden pocket might be, quite a distance away. Maybe you don't go there. Maybe you're thinking about this 3.6, maybe 3.659. These sort of body closes here, bullish price action, and things continue, which you see on lower time frames. And if the RSI upon the 4 hour persisted up in this bullish control zone, then that wouldn't mean it would have much place to drop below. Can see more of that. Trend check came in, maybe a bit more of that to go. Distribution started on this part of this inflection since the lows. First touch of that. Price action did come back off a test of the bullish control zone, held the center line, but it's not going up yet. And you've got weakening momentum, and the volatility is just up and down, up and down. You would have wanted to have seen this sustained at that point. You can see it's got a negative slope on its moving average, and it's below its own moving average despite it having peaked. Well, peaked its interest, perked up. Let's see, 30 minutes, more of the same there, as you can see. More of the same across the board. 15 minutes does look like it's going to come back down now, doesn't it? Now, doesn't it? Now, well, if this manages to hold here, above the center line on the 15 minutes on the RSI, then you won't get any test lower. If you do, you'll be looking at the 200 period, the 3.5, that's the first one. And then you're looking at the golden pocket if it doesn't hold that, obviously. And there's other tiny little bitsy targets we talked about in between times. So you've got potentially... you've not got a positive slope there yet. You've not got the right inflections on anything yet, though. I'd look for a test of this horizontal or this 200 if I was expecting price action to go up. If it did bounce off that and broke back above this 392, then it'll go before 1 too easy. Probably it goes back up and test 434. And then 47. What? Yet? What? No. You don't see enough for that. There's to be some sustained price action to be taking you out there. I don't see that happening off the back of this. Though if the market moves up as a whole, maybe you do see that. That's interesting. Rolls Royce up 1.31%. You got this entry. Look at that. Okay. Free money. BlackBerry. I thought we talked about this. Did we? Don't seem to have anything drawn on there. Am I? There, oh yeah, there it is. Ooh, fucking hell, did that go stay in? Oh my goodness. Yeah, it did, good. I mean, I didn't trade that particular one. So, it's good, whatever. I mean, it just, whatever, fuck it. So, what else? 5%, uranium number 6.3%. Nice, managed to recover there well. Couldn't call it recovering it, right? Just 236 still needs to get up there. Amazon's got its earnings this week. We talked about this on the Twitter. If you're not on, follow me on Twitter. I do loads of interesting tweets, like really I do. Like talked about all of the upcoming earning reports this week that are interesting to look to. They're not today really. So tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, a couple on Friday. That guide Ford or on Thursday, I think. You've got Facebook, Starbucks, and a couple others. Anyway, I talked about it on Twitter, and really heads up the ones that are worth looking for. And so there's that. And I would have talked about IPO stuff if there was anything, but there wasn't. It's all stupid fucking. It's all biomedical, or it's like big. It's all like pharma. It's like all of it is. It's all like risk on assets, highly risk. It's not appropriate right now. Unfortunate for them, right? But you can't just put it back a week. But tough shit. No, Facebook is Coinbase announced partnerships on Meta. Likely they're both going to go up and back with that kind of news. Coinbase has now got down to a low. Got down to a low now. Somebody sent me, was it myself and Peter Hewar from Rocky Outcrops when we were chatting at the time when Coinbase launched, and we were like, look at these people's valuations for Coinbase. Like, what do you reckon, And I think it was him was saying like, well, there's these levels, but if it doesn't hold those, it's screwed. And we both watched or saw some video, and then somebody else shared like, meet Kevin or something. He was buying it at like, I don't know how people like. It's this thing, right? Fundamental analysis. People are attracted to doing it who've got no skills at it, and they come up with mental stuff, really mental stuff. It means Pi 5 thanks to one by Microsoft and Sony will not be good for GameStop. This is Activision. The Activision Blizzard have also got earnings. They're like Friday or Thursday. That's interesting. And the partnership there is good for Microsoft because they can add obviously to the Game Pass, which people speculate is then bad for GME because people won't go into a shop to pick up Call of Duty. But Call of Duty nowadays isn't Call of Duty from 8 years ago. Although it's huge and massive, like it's fantastic, right? But it isn't that thing that would make you drive your car illegally to get it, right? It isn't like it used to be. So it's not, right? That's why it's also why they've agreed to this deal. Also, partly that, and it's like so much. It's like they obviously didn't want to fuck around, right? They just wanted to get it done, and fair enough. And so they've got earnings on Friday. Why am I talking about this? Oh yeah, because somebody was saying that thinks it'll be bad news for GME, right? Well, that's that logic, right? I understand that narrative, but that logic is flawed because Microsoft themselves, who bought Activision and Blizzard, they have. Is it Activision and Blizzard? It's not, is it? Oh, what am I talking about? It is, isn't it? Or is it the other ones? Anyway, what is it? Who is it? Anyway, so the point being, right? Microsoft already had a partnership with GameStop, and Microsoft already had Games Pass, right? That already all happened. It's not like you can build in like Call of Duty's revenues and it move into Games Pass to somehow count that against GME. That's like a stretch, right? It is a stretch. What you'd be talking about would be Microsoft have a Games Pass, and that's bad news for GameStop. But no, they've done a partnership, or a 5-year partnership agreement and whatnot. And it's like Rocky and I say plenty of times, like you wouldn't download a car. You wouldn't download a car. Microsoft buying Activision, Sony buying Bungle. Bungle. Are they? Bungie. Bungle is the name of the bear in Rainbow. Is it? No, what's it? Yeah, it's Bungle. What a name. So that's good news, right? So Sony are just acting because they like have to be. But do I think it matters? No, not really. You wouldn't download a car. You still have to go and get your Xbox, or are you going to get that off Amazon? In which case, why would you get off Amazon instead of GameStop? Right? You go on it. Why? Why? That's one question. If you're looking at logistics, then GME themselves are orientating as a way to as a alternative, right? As a not like as a direct competitor to that type of logistics business. So there's that. When did you take me to some of my favourite shit in the 90s? A while ago now, innit? There, Rockstar. Maybe is that it? They going back? This is it. Also with the idea of collectible items, right? The comic book superhero stuff and the nostalgia that's going around, right, in terms of mergers and acquisitions, corporate purchases, right? Those sort of, oh, look, I'll have that brand, oh, I'll have that one, oh, I'll have the next one, and trying to get all of these titles under one banner. And that, I understand, right? It's mergers and acquisitions. It's going to happen. It's always going to happen. So, but what do I think about it? I don't care, I don't care. Nah, does it matter to me? No, it doesn't matter to me. Do I want to spend ages downloading things? And even if it took 2 seconds, do I want to spend downloading it with that? It's like, well, if it comes with a new client every time, and especially if that thing's limited to a console, and most people are going to want 2 consoles if they're like that desperately interested in like games across different platforms. And unless like these things are going to get more and more expensive. I mean, what are these consoles going to cost in a few years' time? This is what it used to be too, you know. It used to be that you would buy one because you would be 12. But now a lot of the people who buy these things are 40 and they can afford 2 of them if they want. So, you know, there's so many different dynamics that are going on that to say like, just because you've got this game, this one title itself that's in declining revenues and losing some of its sheen, and the CEO of the company that produces it's like a sex pest apparently, then and it's like starting to lose, like it's got losing market share to loads of new things. Then also your release schedules, like anyway, it's like whatever. What do I think is going to happen? GameStop having threats on their business model via other things capturing market share as a fact of life of business of GameStop 1.0 chat. Yeah, very much GameStop 1.0 chat. Yeah. Yes, exactly. So like the GameStop digital marketplace is an idea that's like new and creating new revenue and introducing a different dynamic to the business model compared to just we don't want them to be some sort of company that tries to fight on like what's their current so the weakness for GME from a SWOT analysis perspective, if you're looking at it, is the fact that it's a brick and mortar store and all the things that entails, right? That's what people would say, that weakness. And you then, as a good or a competent executive leading a company like that, especially if you've bought it with your own money and investing in it, you clearly believe in yourself, as Ryan Cohen does, then you'll think that you can turn that weakness into a strength, right? That's what you do. So then you see, what is the strength that we have? Well, it's very obvious that there is the gaming centers aspect of it. And then one of the best bits about that is this aspect of community. And then when you think about that, that's always been a part of GameStop's brand, in that they'll buy your games off you and then you buy other ones back off them. And there's that idea of why you'd come into the shop and use it. And they're also then they're buying all of the merchandise and stuff that goes along with it that you can't download right now. You can't download a car, nor can you download an action figure. And all of these sort of things have got huge markup and increasing. Loads of people are interested in collectibles, nostalgia. And like I say, the people that are doing these things have got lots of money compared to the time when they first got into it, when they were 9. Right now they're 40, whatever. They've got enough money to buy, right, whatever it is that they particularly want. Also, they know these things. So there's so many ways you can turn that into a strength. And then also you could say, like, it's cool and all, but you know they'd be better off buying Supercell or something these days. Doubt the competitor of GME are as shorted as GME. Well, none of these people are, right? So we're talking about Microsoft. No, I mean, if you're talking about outstanding open interest from one aspect to the other, so that is Microsoft's very large market cap. Like, I don't think Microsoft are a competitor to GME. This is the point, right? This is the point that you look at it from a business perspective. You could see, right, there's obviously weaknesses here. Let's turn them into strengths. And you might make it so that, like, it's all based around this idea of community. You might also mean that, well, we have these locations which we can then turn into profit generating cost centers. And then we also have revenue from other areas which will grow, right? And it's a growth company. It's not growing those retail locations. That's not the strategy. It's a growth company in other ways. So where's that coming from? It's a digital marketplace, and it's with this greater reach via the brand, the logistics, the place overall in the marketplace, right? Which means that what I'm saying is that GameStop isn't a competitor for Microsoft. That's a silly idea. They're complementary businesses that both help each other, right? They need each other. You know, they do. It's not like movie companies needed Blockbuster, right? Because because movie companies themselves, a part of their revenue isn't the turtle, right? The little turtle action figure, or the poster, or the keyboard, right? Right? It's none of those. Whereas with GameStop, it's all of that stuff. That's what all of it is. And where do you get it? Like, it's the other option is Amazon on the internet. That's the option. And like, a lot of people just hate Amazon, so they're going to get customers from that already. Plus the fact that people now have got this relationship with GameStop. So do I think that it's a problem? Not really. You know, not really. Do I think digital marketplaces are a positive thing? Yeah. And that they'll all interact together in an ecosystem that works. And I think that's like the key and the secret is what GameStop are trying to achieve. They're trying to make a digital marketplace that works alongside all of these other companies, themselves complementary businesses within the same market. And so they can integrate in a way that suits everyone and helps everybody make money. And then if they've also, like, how will they convince partners to work with them in that sense? Well, it's through scale and then being the one real option and providing services that other people don't, obviously. But like, how do they get there? Well, it's essentially growth and like getting bigger. So at the same time, they're going to put effort into this digital marketplace, likely quite a lot of effort into it, you would imagine, so that it sits well alongside these other companies and like expresses those best elements of GameStop and its brand, its relationship with its customers, and that. And they're going to try and get it so that we people who would have otherwise gone into a GameStop instead can't, because obviously I live in Scotland, we don't have them. You instead go on the internet and get it with all the same things, like the idea of how do you swap games and buy things from each other. It doesn't necessarily have to be that game, though it could be, and it certainly likely is going to be. And instead of just owning like the right to play it at some stage, you'll actually own a copy of it or access to this thing that you yourself facilitate. Jimmy, you are pretty much the only one talking about this as far as I know. It's so true and it is so clear, and I don't know why everyone else doesn't realize this sort of thing. Yeah, we tend to look at big picture stuff, and I'm confused. I'm just a huge COD player. I'm just a COD player. Yeah, so, I mean, this digital marketplace, also the digital marketplace, like, the idea of, like, it's people don't understand. Like, the idea of downloading digital content and it being, like, giving you access or keys to other things. And, like, I'm not just talking about the simple, I'm reticent to say it because I'll express it in such a way that I could have probably made 100 different YouTube videos about, and some punk will come along and make one and that and be like, look what I know, this, whatever. But I don't see it as a problem. I think everything's fine, and we'll talk about it. As I say, we'll burn bridges when we come to them. The digital marketplace and the ability to access new things. It's not right, like, I don't know, because you're speaking to people and you're seeding their imagination, and what benefit is there to that? It's that there's like a dynamic nature to this new Web3 technology, right? Which will have cascading repercussions. So like one decision affects another, just as it does in a game. It's not just that digital representation of something lukewarm version of what has already been invented, but it's just got a different name and it's called a fucking metaverse and is stupid, right? That's Facebook. And their pathetic, over the hill, completely fucking calcified brains have missed it, right? They've missed it. It's game over. They've just made a massive advert about how over the fucking hill they were and put it all out there and called it the metaverse, right? And they were wrong, right? It's much better than they can even imagine. And they haven't understood the nature of like the cascading dynamics and how it's not about putting real people in a digital world. It's about taking the conveniences of a digital world and improving their real life And Facebook are so stupid. I'm so sick of Facebook and that lizard gets head and all the crap that goes with it. I'm so sick of it all. And all of the nonsense and all the people and all the fake fandom for shit that's crap. And honestly, it's so boring. And it extends right through to the bastards that will take everything I was about to say there. Anyway, so if you want to see how it's done properly, then you're in the right place. Already really is, but it will smoke Fortnite in a year easily. So the question though originally though was about what do I think about GameStop and the implications from the Call of Duty being added to the Xbox Game Pass. And it's that likely they're going to want to integrate with GameStop. They're going to want new customers all the time. You see, this is right. The Activision, Call of Duty. Let's face it, right? It doesn't matter how much you like it or not. It's saturated, right? That marketplace and their potential customer market. They've exploited that to a very high efficiency. So trying to eke more blood out of that same stone is going to get increasingly more difficult, and they're going to face diminishing returns, right? The cost of business is going to go up for every unit and every dollar returned. So is that now a good time for them to look to other tributary sources of revenue to maintain that status of that game? They're going to have to do outreach beyond the marketplace, right? Are they going to advertise and put their fucking content on the Sony one? No, they're going to put it in GameStop, aren't they? That's the next place, right? And like, where do you go? Where are you going to advertise? If you're Microsoft and you've got Call of Duty and you've got it on a Games Pass and you want to advertise to people who you think don't yet play a game but they want to play a game, where are they going to be, right? They're going to be in a GameStop, aren't they? You're going to need something like, or are you going to go out there and make your own fucking brick and mortar? That doesn't sound like it's going to work, does it? And if you didn't, would somebody else come along and do it? Yes, they would. And then would they win? Yeah, they would win. And so, right, so there's an anxiety there, and there's like people ask the question and they're worried, and it's because they themselves and their own investment is finite and it's not as confident as mine, right? It's wrong. They're wrong too. And if they get it and if they act on it and lose it, they're going to lose out because the price of the thing's going to go up loads. Roblox is a massive fucking buy, Gary. It's a massive buy. It took fucking ages to get down to the level I said it would. It was really, really fucking high. I said don't buy it. And look what Roblox has done. People are like, but look, I put this in fucking ages ago. Look, it's come down. There you go. Amazing Roblox, right? Absolutely fucking amazing. Absolutely. You want to know the TA why to buy it now? I did it like 3 months ago. And price action was up here. Yes, it was. Not only that, we called it. We called all these sort of moves. Right, we called these sort of moves, and then we're like, "Don't buy it now; it'll go back down to these sort of areas." And look at that. So that's Roblox. It's a very good. It's a very good business. Very good. Roblox can be accessible to people. It may well be. I can imagine it was everywhere. Can be at certain times. Right? There's morons everywhere. You can't get away from them no matter where you go. I've tried. It doesn't work. Linking it in with actual reality glasses will be a game changer in my view. So like that's the idea of right. You're taking the digital world into the real world, not just like the real world into the digital world, right? GameStop doesn't want us all to live in our like messy bedrooms with fucking shite lying around, right? They want us out making money, being productive individuals that've got like large disposable incomes which we can spend on premium products and that. That's what they're also going for, right? So anyway, and will be for the next couple of years. Roblox is the biggest game ever for kids. Yeah, true story. What is it? I mean, it's anyway. But you're right, it's also full of cesspools because they're all kids, innit? They growing up inside the Roblox universe. Then they buy Roblox bucks. They do. And parents buy them all the time at the supermarket. BMJ Chart, along with no need for expensive graphic cards. Yep, but yeah, thinking about that. Yeah. Teaches you things too. It teaches you how to, let's hope that they've got, like, there'll be loads of like aspects to it. They'll have to grow with their audience and so on. And right, they'll face that, what I'm calling the Jake Paul phenomena, right? They'll have to grow with their audience and they'll experience the same friction he did, right? Which is that they and their large, nebulous, meandering growth will be outstripped by those 3, 4, 5-year-olds who play their game, right? They'll advance and progress better and faster than they do as a company, and there'll be friction there, there'll be bullying, there'll be things within the community that they'll have to fix. It'll go on for ages, it'll cost them money, and they'll usually, these companies, they tend to fuck it all up, so we can expect a little bit of that, but I don't think that'll have a desperate effect on the share price as it just relentlessly marches up to being like a really big company and like sits alongside things like Activision and whatnot. Outcrop. Selling shite to kids is a better business model than Call of Duty. Whip up a little bit up. Yes, so these places, they know. It's also like we say, you know, if you're not like, I don't know where you live, but like most places, most big towns have got a Disney shop in them, you know, a Disney shop, and the stuff in it is expensive, and they make lots of money. NFTs, which control our own data, like catalog sites you go to in interest, which you can then allow advertising companies to go to monthly access and cut Facebook right out of the people. Yo, Strat9. Yes, things like that. NFTs, data, certain things can just be on blockchain. You don't need the NFTs, but with art in particular, things that are like commodities, I like the fact that you get a different type of risk exposure to perhaps things that are just on blockchain. So perhaps if you look, I mean, depends on what way the value of the company comes from, but yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, you don't need to work hard to cuss Facebook out of the picture. They aren't really in the picture. It's just pretend. The whole thing's like smoke and mirrors. They're not really in the picture. Sounds like teaching. Only the picture they're in is like how they let there be so much electoral abuse and how they try to silo different communities, which the friction that causes in society. They're totally irresponsible. Everybody knows it. It's not just me who thinks it. Okay, I'm long on the F bars. What did I not do? Did I not do something? I answered the question probably very badly overall there. I don't know if I was coherent and clear, though I'm saying that. And truth is, actually, it was quite good information, probably. So, I don't know. What did I answer the question? So, those vapes, laws, that what my one is called? What did I not do? Somebody asked me about something I didn't do. I think it did happen, but now, what was it? It was a donation, though, wasn't it? So I should be able to find it. For Riffle Tiggled, Zenn. Where are you? We did it on Friday, but I can't remember what we said. It's not on the blue one, but it's on the blue one now. Blah, 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 blue. Blue, oh, look at that. I don't know. I guess we did it. Yeah, I guess we called this right. I don't know. Look, there it is. There's a horizontal level that proved to be where it found support after it broke through topside body close, and you're looking at 190, and topside of this thing, target on it was a 50% move up to $2.39 if we got the top side of this, and we thought this broke into a broadening wedge. At the meantime, you can't yet go on that thesis. You're still looking at this as your downward sloping supply line. It's not broken anything there yet, although it was nice to see us sandwiched between support and resistance at the top side of a formation. I like to see that. If you're going to break to the top side, you like to be at the T. Keep talking about GME Tradespotting. Well, what can I say? Well, we talked about it there. The guy was asking about saying that. Well, it looks great. The TA was fantastic on that. No need to worry about that. Riffle Tiggled. Everything's good. If we go back about GME, talk about this, we finish off with a little touch of GME, and we've talked about the charts already. So there it is in the background. We've spoken about how the Game Pass thing, you know, you wouldn't download a car. That's one part of it, right? Tradespotting Rocky says, like, you wouldn't download a car, right? So you're going to have to go to GameStop to buy the PlayStation or the Xbox or wherever else it is, right? So that's number 1 point. Number 2 point is, you know, Disney have got shops, right? They're premium there. Did you show people the monthly close, Jimmy? I did, Rocky. Showed them the close, the monthly close, and how it was just within positive territory. Turned off these and said this is a slightly higher low. That was positive. The wick on this looks like, you know, potentially it's a rejection of this area here. The close being within the parameters from this uptrend to continue are positive, despite the fact that you've had such desperately large percentage pullbacks. You're still technically not in a confirmed downtrend there on a monthly. Weekly time frame, then putting that in context, you've got a positive candlestick formation coming out of the back of it. That's great. Monthly, you don't yet have that, though. Price action was to recover next month back up about 155 and beyond, then you'd be looking back on this month as being a huge rejection wick, a positive move, a higher low after putting in a higher high back when you go down to this weekly time frame. You'd stay there's still a little bit of flux. Flux is the Latin from the Latin for flow, fleur, and as you might expect, we can anticipate some of that coming up with 3D printing. Now you can. Nice, yeah. But I downloaded a car. What? Yeah, so there's that, right? There's that. Can you imagine the amount of issues there'd be if you could, what is it? BitTorrent. If you could just BitTorrent a PlayStation. So, hello, Andrew Saw. Hello, Andrew Saw. Hello, Andrew Saw. Cheers, Andrew Saw. Yes, cheers, Andrew Saw. What happened? Sure, Jamie the best. Thanks. So there's this, right? That's the thing, right? You wouldn't download a car. Also, premium, right? There's a premium outlet, not just in terms of actual retail outlets, but also for those partners that they'll be working with, those ones that are largely confined to the digital realm, i.e. those people who some people seem to anticipate as competitors when really they're complementary businesses. So there's that. Also, Luke Spears pointed out earlier that, and Rocky was talking about it, the Sony buying Bungie, and how it's just reflective of the mergers and acquisitions in the marketplace, right? And as such, that's become more and more competitive. And then those companies themselves, when there's only two, it's fairly similar to how the world works with these bipolar or dual centers of power, and how that two benefit each other, right? You need 3 is the magic number, and symmetry is overrated, right? Symmetry is a product of stupidity and simplicity, which itself isn't necessarily beautiful. 3 is the magic number, and both GameStop, Sony, and Microsoft know it. They know it better than any person you might happen to mention who speaks about it as having some effect on price action. It doesn't. The reason they're doing it is because they don't understand price action, and they're trying to come up with narratives, right? The same way the news do, only the news are proficient in doing it in a way that's convincing, and that shit isn't, right? The truth is, Microsoft very much appreciate GameStop and know that there's not just synchronicity in working with them, but it's even more important than that. It's not just the beneficial aspects of it. It's also like in a way of locking in the areas of power that each of Microsoft and Sony are, like, neither of them want the other one to, it's in both their best interest that GameStop fill that hole, right? That's a very easy way to explain it. Anyone else tries to tell you any other narrative is that they're inventing one. Rocky Outcrop, you doing James Blunt again? Wow, he's singing again. 33 is a third. 33 and a third. Wow, that's beautiful. This also symmetrical though. Wow, we to conclude in decimal places to make this happen, Jamie. Well, for 9 divided by 3, go with that one. That's still not good enough. Why don't we just stick with pi? And then when we're there, we could just be using Fibonacci sequence. We'll just use it, and we'll say if it breaks 2, 3, 6, maybe it goes 3 golden pocket. Jimmy, got to fill the hole. Got it. Right? Yes, every hole's a gold. 33 and a third. There it is. Shane, you probably said that out loud better than I said it. Look into the number 33. Look into it very deeply. Look into it loads more. It's also, you'll have a big fan of number theory. If so, you probably also enjoy fractals. Yo! Though, I mean, there is some interesting things about number 3. That's not true for me to have said that. It's much more credible, and actually you can use it for real things, whereas the fractal stuff, no. Please stop James Blunt from releasing another album. Do we have to? James Blunt did more than that one song? I don't know. See the guy that was a Marine, but sings like, hello, why did you leave me? That one. See, he's that guy. Why did you leave me? That guy. I was all sad when you left me. That one. Why do singer-songwriters all do that? Like, why don't you just sing about winning? Why can't there just be one who just always sings about winning and it not be like rap music? No, there's nothing wrong with rap music. It's just like, can we get a different genre where the people are happy or like successful or that? I mean, can we? Or does it all have to be like, there was this one time I was in love, but I'm not in love anymore, but I still am, but they don't love me. All that stuff. That James Blunt stuff, though. I like James Blunt. It's cool. He seems like a nice bloke. He knows how to make money, that's for sure. He was a Marine. Who knew? Was that him? I don't know. I think that was him. I don't know who I'm talking about, right? We were talking about different people. I don't know. Maybe he wasn't. Maybe he was in the British Special Forces, in which case they're not Marines. They're the other ones. I would like to be doing James Blunt right now, but I don't have enough. That's in a very manly way. MS Gateway and retail compete against Amazon and Apple. There's a good idea, yeah. So, where's the GameStop marketplace? Is it all itself running on the blockchain, like the whole thing? In which case, to be quite expensive overheads with the smart contracts, if you know how these things work. Perhaps it's just running on something like Amazon Azure, and they've got like a partnership in that sense with Microsoft too. And perhaps the two of them are working on these things together. You don't really know. What about Microsoft? When are they thinking like, oh, how do we get into this idea of, they've got a digital marketplace themselves. Right? They're one of the largest companies in the world. Maybe they're looking at this idea that Facebook have been talking about, and they're like, maybe there's a way of us to commoditize that method of exchange within our own ecosystem. Maybe they're thinking about that, and they're like, who would be really helpful for that? Does this company called GameStop? It's all dead obvious. It's not like we're talking. It's like we're not talking about some maybe startup that's maybe could, and like we're all like, yeah, but we believe in it because it's something that's to make up some shit. There's like a real company with people with like millions and millions and millions of dollars and real strong success track record, buying the company, turning it into something else, and you can't just expect it to happen 2 seconds later just because you bought the shares. These things take time. Microsoft would partner with GameStop just to get their cloud hosting contract. You damn fucking, there you go, the man knows what he's talking about as well. Of course they would. Literally train your employees to use their services. Yeah. They're good like that. They know how to capture people for life, customers for life. Microsoft, they're very good at that. I heard this company has an app. Oh my God, they've got an app. It's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. They've got an app. Well, that's the thing. Like, that level of thing, like when you think about it, like, is that really, because like Tradespotting's got all of that on, like, whatever. Yes, goes GameStop have an app? Does GameStop have an app? Oh my God. Is it on Android and iOS? Oh my God, they're going to be huge. It's not like that. They're a serious business. And people don't know. They don't know what I'm talking about. It's really silly. Some people go out to Sweets to make your mum breakfast. Richard and I used to walking past Richard. Who's he? Rocky and I were walking to get our jabs the other day, and we walked past this shop called Levant Sweets. And no offense, right? But it was completely like to anyone from the Levant, but it isn't like you might imagine from reading about the it's very much looks like what the Levant looks like nowadays in this shop, right? It looks like Baghdad, and the things they sell look like they cost, perhaps like Microsoft, they pay you to take them away. That's what it looked like, and it was in this place where rent's really high. And Rocky were like, "What the fuck is going on? How come this stuff makes money? What's going on? What's it? What? How come that makes money? And it's like that. That's what some people seem to think. Like oh my God, GameStop is so awful. And you're like, no. You yourself don't necessarily believe in the share price, but you're getting carried away. And the reason you're doing that, and people like all the histrionics and that, is because those people who short and are like really aggressive about the value of the company, it's because they don't have anything meaningful or significant in their life. So they replace it with histrionics and drama, and they transfer frustrations about their life in this way, and then express it in a negative sense about things that other people care about, because this is the way humans are. We have a predilection for negativity, and the people who can't overcome it will always have a sad, shitty life. You have to think about the way you think and try and be positive person. If you are that sort of person and you hear the narrative about the GameStop, how can you not fucking buy it? And how many people do you actually need to do this thing, right? Not that many, because it isn't about the numbers of people. It's about the scale of our ambitions and the efficacy of our ability and our efficiency in the way we go around achieving them. No buffer here either. Yeah, there ain't no buffer. This is 900 megabytes a second. Most shops look like they can't make money either and don't last more than 3 months, or they're a money laundering operation. It's very true. It's not. Most of them are. This one very much looks like it. It says, wondering where all those sweets of the Levant, all that lucrative cash they're making going. No wonder, no buffer here. But hey, buddy, who are those 4 busy people? Those 4 busy people are myself and they're Bob, Fred, and Hamish here. There's some high quality 1080p over here. You only got the 1080p. Can I not get it onto 4K? What's wrong? Rocky, yes, without the cloud, head the next day. Yeah, so look, this is one manifestation of a new orientation from a completely new company with completely new, right, C-suite, whatever you want to call it. It's a little bit embarrassing, all these names: chief executive, chairman, this, chairman, right? That's legit, right? That's cool. Over here, we've got that too. They help settle disputes between other board members is generally their role. That, and to speak to people in a very calm way earnings is what you chuck them out for. But really, the chairman is just usually like somebody who's wise and experienced and can help settle votes and on board level. And then the other members of the board are all managing directors with their own remit and their own section of the business to look after, and they all report to managing director. And that's the way it works. So there's no like, oh my God, we got the Team Marvel, right? We got like, Dr. Sleep and like Captain Fancy Face knob, right? And like some guy with his pants on top of his trousers, like, yeah, I'm Mr. Head of Marketing Man, right? It's not like that, right? That weird nonsense. It's just people doing a job well, and all the narratives that get attached to it and that by the media, and that's all shite, right? They're like competent people who've spent years and years and years of the best years of their lives learning things so that they could do it properly as professionals now, right? And they're real adults really doing these jobs rather than the 14-year-olds that the media paints them as, because that's who they love the people who are investing in it to feel like a stupid 14-year-old in their pajamas. So they paint the people who do the job as if they're that, right? And so when you read, like, and it's all based on this level of anxiety that everyone's fed all the time because you don't know like the bigger picture of what's going on in the world. So like, they'll just feed them this shit and they'll buy it because they don't know anything, right? And that's the way the media treat you. And yeah, so what do I actually think? Everything's fine. There's like serious people. It's just the digital marketplace and the NFTs, and they're approaching this in such a game-changing way of such a massive industry. It's a huge deal. People don't understand, and the general out there don't understand. And when we talk about it, some of us seem crazy, but like, it is a big deal. And this is one part of it. Like that idea of the NFT GameStop marketplace. This is one aspect of fuckloads of things they could be doing, and they've got loads of money, loads and loads of money, right? And they've got all the shops, so they're in the Anywho, so you look at the have we got it up there? We do, yeah, excellent. Bob, Fred, Hamish. There's areas below that we need to look to first. Divvy, yes, indeed we do. If there is a personal thing, would need to arrive and can't rest the PO box, and I don't know what to say. It should be fine though. Divvy, you need to make sure that Royal Mail pick it up on this side of the ocean. Talked about this before. It's like going to New York, and we're not allowed to talk about dead rabbits apparently. But what do you think would happen? You see, right? Cathy Wood's fund, right, loses, what is it, $1 billion a week? Is it something like that? It's awful. She's making terrible decisions constantly. She doubles down when she makes terrible decisions, and it's like the symptom of an egomaniac, right? And they all do this. It's the extreme egoism when hubris affects people even at a low ebb rather than at like the top, right? So she's in there doubling up on Hood, which is fucking nonsense, right? I mean, she should have been watching, right? But she, tough shit. So, but she has positive, right? She's the daughter, right? She's managed to do really well in what is a man's world. Lots of respect. She's the daughter of Irish immigrants. Lots of respect. She keeps buying Hood. It's all gone. You're a fucking idiot. What the fuck are you doing? You've called you. What about the Irish dad? What about all the other people in life that've had to? What about where you came from? Where is your fucking ethics? What the fuck? You're the face of this shit. Fuck off, Ark. Fuck off, Kath. Get fucked, eh? Get fucked. That bollocks, man. See you tomorrow. Fucking. What's she